All right, let's dive into something truly mind-bending today. We're going to explore the wild, mysterious connection between the quantum world, the very building blocks of reality, and our own consciousness.
So let me just start with this one question. What if your mind isn't just a passenger, just reacting to the world around you? What if it's actually in the driver's seat, actively helping to shape it? It's a huge idea, I know, but it's one that quantum physics is kind of forcing us to look at.
To really get to the bottom of this, we first need to understand, why is this even a question? Where did this incredible idea come from in the first place?
I mean, for as long as people have been thinking, we've been asking, what is this thing we call consciousness, you know? Is it just a bunch of neurons firing in our brain? A cool biological trick? Or is it something more? For ages, that was a question for philosophers. But now, physics, specifically quantum physics, is throwing a massive, bizarre new curveball into this ancient mystery.
So, to even begin to wrap our heads around a quantum mind, we have to look at the secret rules of the universe itself. And listen, this isn't just theory or science fiction. This is proven stuff about how reality works at the most fundamental level. It just happens to be really, really weird.
Okay, first up is a concept called superposition. Get this, it says a tiny particle, like an electron, isn't just in one place at one time. Nope. It exists in all of its possible places at once, kind of like a ghost or a wave of pure potential. It only picks a single, definite spot the moment something observes it.
And if you thought that was strange, hold on. Then there's quantum entanglement. This is where two particles become mysteriously linked. If you measure one of them, its partner, no matter how far away it is, instantly mirrors its state. We're talking instantly, faster than the speed of light, even if they're on opposite sides of the galaxy.
This idea was so bizarre, so impossible sounding, that Albert Einstein himself couldn't stomach it. He famously called it spooky action at a distance. He was pretty convinced it couldn't be real. But, well, decades of experiments have proven him wrong. Turns out, the universe really is that spooky.
So we've got particles that are everywhere at once and particles that are connected across impossible distances. But this is where it gets really interesting. This is where our minds might just enter the picture. We're talking about the power of observation.
Now, this all comes to a head in one of the most famous experiments in all of science, the double-slit experiment. Look over on the left. When scientists fire particles at a screen with two slits, but they don't watch them, the particles act like waves. They create a pattern that shows they went through both slits at the exact same time. But now look at the right. The second you put a detector there to see which slit they go through, boom, they suddenly act like little baseballs, going through one slit or the other. The simple act of looking at them changes how they behave. It changes their reality.
And this leads us to a question so profound that scientists are still arguing about it. If observing a particle fundamentally changes it, does that mean our consciousness, the simple act of paying attention, turns a haze of possibilities into a single concrete reality?
Okay, so let's take a leap. Let's jump from the weird world of subatomic particles to our own lives. If our observation can turn a wave of possibilities into one little particle, could our focus, our attention, our intention do the same thing for our own reality?
Just think about your future for a second, not as a single fixed path, but more like a vast landscape of infinite possibilities. Every potential outcome, getting that job, moving to that city, having that amazing idea, they could all exist at the same time in a state of pure potential, just like that particle in superposition.
So, how do we choose a path in this landscape of possibilities? Well, this model suggests it works in 3 steps. First, you have that infinite field of potential. Anything could happen. Second, we apply our conscious focus and our intention on one specific outcome. And third, that very act of focused observation collapses all those other possibilities, and a single reality emerges. Our reality.
And I know, this might sound a little out there, maybe a bit new age, but if you look around, this idea has incredibly deep roots. For thousands of years, ancient spiritual practices, and even modern things like meditation, visualization, or even just setting clear goals, they're all based on this fundamental belief. Where you put your focus, your reality follows.
So let's bring this all the way home. Let's see how this could actually be playing out in your life, right now. What does it actually mean if your thoughts are part of the creative fabric of the universe?
Just think about your own experience. Have you ever focused with absolute crystal clarity on a goal and then noticed weird coincidences or opportunities popping up to help you get there? When you're feeling positive and open, doesn't it seem like good things just appear out of nowhere?
And on the flip side, when you're consumed by anxiety or fear, doesn't it feel like your whole world just shrinks? This theory suggests that's not just in your head, it might be a real interaction with the quantum field.
And scientists are actually hunting for the physical link here. One of the leading theories points to these tiny, tiny structures inside our brain's neurons called microtubules. The idea is that these little guys might actually be operating on a quantum level. They could literally be the biological bridge between our thoughts and the quantum universe.
So the big takeaway here, the core idea, is just a radical shift in how we see ourselves. If any of this is even close to true, then we are not just passive observers sitting in the audience of a pre-written movie. We are active creators, participating in the unfolding of reality, co-authoring the script of our lives, moment by moment.
And that really brings us to the final, critical question, the one you have to answer for yourself. Based on all of this, what role are you playing in your own life? Are you just an observer, passively watching what happens? Or are you a creator, consciously and deliberately shaping the reality you want to experience? The answer? Well, it could change everything.